Are you wondering if a Disney cruise is worth the money or you already paid a good amount to book it and you want to make the most out of your adventure? Whether you're a first-time cruiser or a seasoned sailor, today we're sharing our top tips from our recent Disney Alaska cruise to ensure your Disney cruise is nothing short of magical. From packing essentials to must-do activities and ship walkthroughs, let's dive into all the do's and perhaps more importantly, the do-nots. Basically, everything you need to know before you set sail is in this video. Come aboard with us, and by the end of this video, you'll be able to decide for yourself if this trip with awe-inspiring glaciers or other adventures and Disney magic for all ages is the ultimate adventure for your family. Welcome back to This Japanese American Life. If this is your first time here, I'm Amy. I'm a full-time working mom to two boys in Silicon Valley. And let me just tell you a quick cruising background. My husband and I first started cruising together for our honeymoon. We actually ended up taking two short cruises, various reasons I won't go into, but feel free to ask in the comments if you want. And we went on Carnival, which is the entry-level cruise line, great for fairly newly working people like us at the time that wanted a less planning intensive trip after planning a wedding. One trip was to Mexico and the other went to the Caribbean. We didn't know any other cruise, so it was fine. We enjoyed ourselves, even if it was a lot of families, quite a bit of rowdy kids. That in hindsight, I remember sitting at the dinner table with a group of people we didn't know. It was fine, but not necessarily ideal. And honestly, actually, I don't know how a couple would have been seated at Disney. I know I saw groups of four by themselves, but I didn't see two. I didn't look close enough, probably. If you know, let me know in the comments what two people would be seated as. We also previously went to Alaska on Norwegian Cruise Line with two other couples before any of us had kids around 2011. I remember it was beautiful. The food and activities were a step better than Carnival, less chaotic of a crew for sure. However, keep in mind that Alaska tends to attract the older crowd in general, and on Norwegian, that was absolutely true. If we took a Carnival to Alaska, maybe that would be different. And on Disney, it's different because it tends to be family related, right? We're also in different stages of life at that time, so we actually went to a lot of the adult-focused activities or even stayed up for late night entertainment and bites. We also went snowshoeing and activities that adults wanted to do without whining about having to hike. What? So it was a very different experience. Am I right, friends? And in 2019, right before the COVID pandemic, was our very first Disney cruise from San Diego to Mexico. Mind you, we aren't a big Disney family, and I thought to myself, can it really be worth the premium? Friends suggested it, so we thought, why not try? We went with one other friend family and their moms, as well as most of our parents. The kids loved that the grandparents came along with us. And I have to say, it's no surprise that there is a premium price to Disney Cruise Lines. However, they do hospitality and shows extremely well. I'll get into more of that shortly with clear examples of why we loved our cruise and why I think you should go too. And no, I am not getting endorsed for this video, but maybe I should, wink, wink. If you love this video, your comments help more people, including potentially Disney, see this in the future. So remember to like and comment if you want to help. Thanks in advance for your engagement. Okay, off the soapbox. Sadly, though, my kids don't remember that much from that trip, but they do see pictures and their memories are jogged a little bit with how much they liked wearing the matching Disney shirts when we first got on and seeing the characters. So there is something that is still in their memory from that time, and it's now 5 years later to present day 2024. The kids are mid to upper elementary aged, so here's to hoping that they remember a heck of a lot more from this one. Let's start with logistics and price. So this was a Disney cruise, 1 week from Vancouver to Alaska and back aboard the Disney Wonder. It was one glacier view stop, which is not actually a stop because you're just on the ship, but you see beautiful glaciers, plus three actual port stops in Alaska, Icy Strait Point, Juneau, and Ketchikan. I personally purchased through Costco because, well, there are perks to going direct through Disney. I love the cost savings of booking through Costco travel. Also, not sponsoring this video yet. That was my wink wink. And if you love finding deals like me, give me an I love deals in the comments because I can make many more deal videos, especially for travel, because that's my jam. So it cost about 8,000 US dollars for an inside room on the sixth floor, meaning no windows, right? For our family of four, just for the cruise itself. Now it's more like 10,000 once you include flights to and from Vancouver, food and hotel the night before, since I didn't want to chance any flight delays and flying the day of. Plus, there's suggested gratuity on the ship that could be increased. Usually people don't decrease. And then port activities, more on some of these added and hidden costs later, so stay tuned for that. All that to say, it's definitely not cheap compared to other cruises. We had just started looking into the Princess Cruise to the Panama Canal, which is a bucket list item for us, and that is 16 days for about 1,500 a person. It is more expensive than a 16-day cruise, even though this is 7 days. So it is a rather large difference to go on the Disney Cruise Line. Don't worry though, by the end, I will let you know if it was worth it for me. And more importantly, you can decide for yourself based on the information if it is worth it for you. Let's talk about the on-off process. This was pretty smooth. Because it was Vancouver, it was Canada, you had to go through a customs check, but that was pretty easy. You sign up ahead of time for a ship boarding time when you check into your cruise from home. So while you can drop off your bags earlier than your check-in time, you can only check in and start the boarding process closer to that time. So pick wisely, check in early, and get the times that you want. More status and more times cruised gets you access to earlier times if that is your desire. We picked 12:30 so that we can get on board for lunch, albeit a late lunch. And we got our lanyards because we were returning members, and this came in clutch. So here is our lanyard that they gave us, and I found out that there are different colors. So because we had sailed one more time, this was what we received. If you are a first-time sailor, you are not going to get this lanyard, but if you've sailed more than 5 times, you get a yellow one. The white one of the employees said it might be over 50 ballers. That's all I have to say. But they also gave us, oops, that's the other way around. They also left this cute bag for us in our room. So if you are a returning cruiser, you get some fun things where they make you feel like you are part of the Disney family. Like I said, this is clutch. This is your key to the world card is what they call it. And the kids need this for all kinds of things, tagging in, out. And this is your key card for your room. So this was super handy for the kids to have. If you do not have one given to you because this is your first time sailing, bring a lanyard. It will change your life. Also give kids their kid scrub bracelets at this time. So that will be used to check them in and out every single time they go to whatever kid room your kid wants to go to, depending on their age. More on that in shortly. But there is a deposit for those bracelets, so do not lose them. Make sure they have them. I'll give you a walkthrough of all the kids' room from infant to teens in a bit, so stay tuned for that. We didn't get on until probably 1:15 because of all the lines and moving through the areas. It's a wide gap that needs to be moved through. We went straight to lunch, but that first day at the buffet, they have crab and shrimp. So do not miss that. They actually had it at least one other day, even though we thought it was only going to be the first day, but it is not exclusive to the first day. I just don't know if they had it for more days because most of the time we went to sit down lunches, but it is for sure on that first day. And our bags took a bit to come to our room, even though initially they said it'll likely be there by the time you get there after lunch. It actually took until closer to dinner time. So Don't be worried, it will get there eventually. Just hold your horses. Now, let's show you the inside room tour. It's actually not super tight, and I love that there is this way to section off the bunk and the king bed area with a curtain. That way, even if the kids go to bed, we can do some reading while they go to bed. There's different lights as well, so their area has a light and the back area has a light. The bathroom even had a tub. My issue with the tub was that it was big enough for me, but the tub didn't keep the water the whole time, and what's the point of a tub if it doesn't do that, right? It kept getting lower little by little, even though it looked like it was holding it. Should I have said something? Probably, maybe, but I honestly didn't use it more than once, so I just didn't feel like waiting around for maintenance to come around. We did have another issue where the water would not turn hot. One day when we ventured out into the rain in Ketchikan, which sucked, and I wish I had known about the sauna that existed, especially on that day, because we were cold and wet coming back from a rainy day, waiting for them to fix this shower for a few hours. It did get fixed, but it was a very, very annoying thing. Probably my biggest issue that I had on the cruise. Definitely the worst day for that to happen, but I guess if that's the worst of my problems, first world problems, as we say, right? Then we had the kid bunk bed. The kids loved this feature because it's a couch during the day, and then they magically come to put out the bunk bed while we were at dinner, along with towel creatures and chocolates. They absolutely loved the towel creatures. It was different every day. Plus, when the bunk bed shows up, it's just like magic, right? Our friends had a balcony room, so here's what it looks like. The balcony was quite nice, even though my husband really likes the pitch black room for sleeping. He doesn't sleep very well, so this was fantastic for him. And it also has a separate shower and toilet, which also means two sinks. That is a really nice difference in touch. Also, if you need joining rooms for your party, the balcony rooms are your only option. Balcony rooms and above are your only option, so there are no inside rooms that have adjoining doors. We were personally happy with our sixth floor midship room. Midship, mid-floor, it didn't feel rocky, it wasn't too loud from activities, it wasn't too far from everything. It worked well for us. We were adamant about taking the stairs everywhere so that we could work off or earn the food, whichever way you look at it, and force in exercise. So I liked this spot. Now, here are some things people don't tell you unless you just know you've done the research about Disney cruises. So one thing is this thing called hook extenders. If you see the little fish with little pocket hooks where people have little cubbies almost, you might see people have things like this on their door. And for every Disney cruise, these are used to organize a special gift exchange among the different passengers for that cruise trip. And people sign up before the cruise, usually a Facebook group, and they're then grouped together with other families so that each group exchanges small gifts. And during the course of the cruise, they take their gifts, go to the cabin doors, the hook extenders, and then it creates a sense of community because you are gifting each other things. And speaking of fun ways to enhance the experience, door magnets and decor are a huge thing. As you can see, I took pictures of some of my favorite ones because people got really creative about these things. There were also whiteboards so people can write things. There were cute little gifts like take one sticker, all kinds of things. So if you want to decorate, plan ahead, go wild. There's also a pin exchange. So you have to have a Disney pin to begin with to do exchanges, but you can buy Disney pins on board. And then when you look at staff and they have some pins on their belt, you can exchange with them. Who knows, you might get something super cool and unique during your trip. Now let's talk about food. You know, it's one of my favorite things. Let's go through the types of restaurants and what not to miss before I get to my hot tips. The Animator's Palette. This was my favorite restaurant. You do not want to miss these dinners because they're amazing. If you have to miss one day for, say, a Palo reserved dinner or brunch, miss the second night at this place because there isn't any show per se. The first night there's a show where Mickey comes in. This is so cool. And the last night, they animate your drawings on screen, which is also an amazing experience to see something like this. So I drew this, they collect it ahead of time, and then this becomes,
What is Bucky?
oh yeah, that's mine.
Yours.
Oh wait, that's one of your guys's, right? Yeah, who is that? How cool is that, right? You see everybody's drawings just come to life. And then there's Tiana's Palace. This is super fun if you like live music. Both nights there was jazz.
We're gonna take you all the way down. We know where we're going and we're going with you. We're taking you all the way.
And Louis the alligator and Tiana made appearances. So they just make everything special in different ways. And then Triton's, there were no special performances there, but there were some absolutely delicious meals like the lobster tail. So, so good. Their meals were absolutely fantastic. Palo is, as I mentioned, the paid meal restaurant. So if you want to go above and beyond or celebrate a special something, it's adult only, but you can reserve brunch or dinner. Brunch goes quick. So if you know you want it, whenever those reservations open up, book, book, book. We did dinner last time on our 2019 cruise with grandparents, and it was fantastic. We didn't do it this time, but our friends did dinner and brunch, and they agreed it was fabulous. All right, here come my top tips for sit-down restaurants. The first one being, don't be afraid to order multiple appetizers, entrees, or desserts, whatever you want. You deserve it. You're looking at a girl that ordered 2 entrees, probably almost every dinner, and maybe even lunch, and yet the whole menu looked so good, and your girl likes to eat. I may not have finished everything, so I did feel a little bad about the wasted food, but the menu changes every day except for breakfast. So, yeah, I'm trying it and not even feeling bad. If you're with me, give me a yes, multiple entrees in the comments. Don't let anybody shame you. Timing-wise, there is a 5:45 and 8:15 seating. If you can't get the one you want initially, wait list yourself online. If you aren't bumped up even by the time of sailing, take care of that first thing when you get on the ship. They will likely be able to adjust that for you, just like they did for us, and add you to your friends if you weren't able to link online. Apparently, if one of you, like us, books on Costco and another on Disney, they can't connect the accounts prior to onboarding. So go find the people that are ready to adjust the stuff for you when you get on the ship. I was worried, but thankfully we had no problem being bumped up to the 5:45 time and sitting with our friends. Phew. I love also that you are assigned dinner locations so you don't have to go through this reserving dinner locations or times or like all the arranging that might need to happen on other cruise lines. They set it for you. There's a rotation. You get assigned to the rotation and bam, it is in your app. You also have the same table number and staff that follows you for dinner in each place. Their hospitality is fantastic. It is Disney hospitality. They really get to know you. They anticipate things in advance, even to the point where they kept bringing out juice to my kids right away when we sat down. Even if I didn't want my kids to have juice every night, they had a special one night and they just kept bringing it out. And then my kids would give me those puppy dog super cute eyes to see if they could have it. But sorry, kids, This mom is dead inside. I know you're on vacay, but you can choose juice or dessert for dinner. Sorry. A note if you want to bring your own alcohol, you can bring your own wine and pay a corkage fee of $25. If you love nice wine, it's worth it. My mom did it last time and our friends did it this time. The glasses aren't outrageously priced by any means, at least for us coming from the Bay Area. It might be different from you where you are from, but we ended up buying a bottle the last night also, but it's an option. If you are particular about your drink, feel free to bring it on and your group can share it. Buffet food. It is always an option instead of sit down breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Buffet has nice stuff, actually, especially if you have impatient kids that don't want to wait at a sit down restaurant or you just want to grab stuff on your own and make your own plates. I totally get it. I found that I ate way too much at a buffet because there's just not the having to ask for another thing. But the kids loved it, especially for breakfast. So we mostly did sit down otherwise, but from probably like the third day, fourth day of breakfast on, the kids wanted to go to breakfast. I took the kids to breakfast. My husband wanted to do a sit down breakfast, so he had his own time. It worked out for all of us that we got to do whatever we wanted. There's also poolside food, which is buffet style. You just go and get it. There's Pinocchio's Pizza for daily pizzas, Daisy's Delights, which has fruit plates, rice bowls, sandwiches, and salads that kind of change, but mostly the same day to day. And then there's Pete's Boilerplates, which had shawarma, which I didn't get to try because I didn't know until the last day they had shawarma. They had chicken tenders, burgers, hot dogs, the usual kind of American food there. There's also late night food, mostly pizza, but my friend told me there's also like tea time like snacks. And I honestly didn't take advantage of these at all because I am not a late night person since I became a parent, especially. And there's also room service, which is included in it's free, even though you already paid a large price for this cruise. So it's not quite slim pickings, but it's also not the whole array of buffet items, right? So if you just don't want to leave the room, have at it. Now let's talk about those kids club rooms. First, there's a nursery called It's a Small World Nursery for babies. There's the Oceaneers Lab and Club for 3 to 10-year-olds. There's two different rooms. Edge and Vibe are for teens and tweens.
Open house, no open house, open house.
So two rooms, and one nursery. There are tons of different activities in each room. So for the younger kids, there's toys, drawing, crafts. See, like if you wanted to draw Chip and Dale, you can put a paper over it. Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. Thank you. And then there's also characters that come in. Dance parties that get arranged, video games that are there, scavenger hunts, different events that they try to add in. Oh, that's cool. So this one's like, you can pretend play in the different areas.
The perfect playlist? I think you're onto something, my friend.
Oh, well, with so many song choices, I don't know who's gonna pick them all.
And so those can be found in the app or the itinerary page that they give you. The itinerary page that looks like this, that gives you all the different things that happen. They don't give you this by default, so you do have to go to the guest services section and ask for it if you want a physical paper. But if you download the app, that is all in there. Be sure to download the app before you go because that is how you chat with the other people on your party during the cruise without paying for internet. If you're paying for internet, you can go do whatever, right? But the app is how you chat with people, and the app is how you reserve things. The app is how you figure out what's going on, figure out your time for dinner. All those reminder kind of things are there. Now, for the older kids, there are more video games, more board games. There were activities like origami and drawing and crafty things, as well as taking them out to the outdoor sports areas. And there's, of course, other special fun events that they do as well that are shown again on the app or itinerary page, more geared toward these teens and tweens. Now, the check in and out process, I have an important reminder for you. Remember the code word that you set when you check in for your cruise weeks before the trip. We totally forgot, so we had to rack our brains for what is that secret word to pick our kids up. Don't worry, if you don't remember, they can reset it for you on the spot. They'll just ask you for a few pieces of information. I was trying so hard to remember when they asked me the first time. I just forgot, but write it down or make sure you talk about it with your partner. If there are multiple people picking up your child, so you all know it's weeks in advance, you might forget. Otherwise, they just scan their little bracelets, wash their hands before they go in, and bam, pick them up at any time. They can also call you if there's any issues, so you don't have to worry. The Oceaneers Lab and Club have a passageway in between, so they can go back and forth from one side to another unless it gets closed off for open house or some sort of special activity. It's actually pretty neat or freaky, however you look at it, that they know exactly what zone your kid is in when you come get them so that they can go grab them. Also, if you're curious what it's like in there and you want to take pictures, you have to go during open house times at the beginning or throughout the cruise. There are different times because pictures and adults are not typically allowed inside otherwise. So I wouldn't be able to show you my favorite Woody's play area if I couldn't go in during open house time. How cool is that? I am definitely a kid at heart. Can you tell? Now let's talk entertainment. You've downloaded the Disney Cruise app before you go, and so you know what is happening. Go find all the things you want to do. I knew that I wanted to do the featured shows every single night. Otherwise, the movie theater plays new releases or recent releases, so we got to watch Inside Out too. Woohoo! I love Inside Out. Note that popcorn sold right outside is extra. You have to buy the bucket for $10, and from then on, it's $2 for refills on this ship, or I assume any future ship you go on if you choose to save that bucket and bring it back with you. I did see people bringing in stuff from other places like fruit or whatever else, so that is a possibility. Pool and slide stuff. The pool can get a little crazy. Beware of the kids area, especially the hot tub, because it became a clown car type situation. No joke, it happened to both me and my husband. There's a reason why there's an amazing adult only quiet pool and hot tub area. Just finished swimming in the adult only zone, which is magical because you don't have kids that are sitting on you, you don't have that are not yours, mind you. Just all kinds of clown stuff does not happen. So it was fantastic. Hot tub, nice pool, super comfy, bar for those that need the drinks too, and just lovely, lovely day. Genius. The slide, though, you have to go try it. It is so fun as you're going down, especially when we were docked in Alaska and I went down. It was absolutely gorgeous seeing the scenery. The water is warm. Don't worry about it. It is fun. There's also a big screen at one of the pools so you can watch, which also was why the hot tub got a little crazy because people were in the pool and then they wanted to keep watching the movie, but they all came into the hot tub. Everyone. Everyone came into the hot tub. But it is really fun to watch Frozen or whatever movie is on while you are in the pool. Characters. There are times to meet and greet all kinds of your favorite characters, whether they are the classic characters like Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, princesses like Belle and Tiana and Elsa, or even Marvel characters like Spider-Man and Black Panther. They even show up around the ship randomly or at dinner, so there are so many opportunities to see them. And when the kids just light up, even adults, they light up, they want to take pictures with them. It is super fun. There's even dance party times where you can dance with your favorite characters. It's great. There's also an outside sports area. There's basketball, table tennis, and foosball. Beware, it does get windy, and sometimes it is off limits, especially in Alaska, because of environmental and sound regulation in some zones. But it's fun. We just used it for running around time a few times. But if you want to play foosball, it does get quite busy. So you may not have an opportunity, but just get in line if you really want to play. There's also all age activities in spaces around the ship. Again, look at that itinerary to see what you want to do. So there's things like origami, or look at these. These are the Anna and Elsa and Olaf 3D crafts that we got that we didn't quite finish, but we brought it home with us. There's also like a towel folding class that we got to go to because they love the towel creatures. They also how to teach you how to draw certain characters. So there were different times the kids really like Donald, and so we did a learn how to draw Donald. There's tons of different things that you can do. There's also game show type of entertainment so that you can participate. There's also adult only bars and entertainment so that if you don't want the kids everywhere, there are game shows, there are all kinds of fun activities that can be adults only. And if you want to work out, there is a gym. You can work out or take a class while you are looking out at the open water. So, so pretty. One time I even saw a whale. That was super exciting. If you love the sauna, hot tip, there is one in the changing room for the gym, and it is absolutely beautiful. I'm so sad that I only discovered it on the last day. I wish I had seen a video that told me that there was a steam sauna that you can use from the very first day. In that same changing room, they also have way more amenities stocked like razors, shaving cream, hairspray, deodorant. So if you do not want to check those things into a suitcase or you forget, it is there. You heard it here. If that's helpful, remember to comment and let me know. And when we're talking about entertainment, of course, the shows. There are 2 times for every featured show that day, depending on your dinner schedule, right? In the big Walt Disney Theater. And we had 3 Broadway type shows, 1 comedy magic show, 1 comedy ventriloquist show, an Inside Out 2 movie showing, and they were all fun, and I enjoyed all of them, some more than others, of course, and my family picked and chose what they wanted to go see, but I wanted to make that a priority to be able to see these shows because Disney does shows really well. Am I right? A few more things to note, staff friendliness. Everybody was so nice, super helpful, something that you absolutely expect, right? So I'm not going to dwell on that. Cleanliness, didn't have a problem at all. There was one bathroom. I did not go in because it was the men's bathroom, obviously, but I was told there was one urinal and it was super high. So the kids could not use it. There were no step stools. We were confused why that was the case, but it was. That was just odd. Now, port stops, I told you we went to Icy Strait Point, Juneau, and Ketchikan in Alaska. Here are some quick highlights, but if you want more details, I will make a more detailed video on budget or non-budget options on that. So if you want that, let me know in the comments and say more detailed Alaska video, and I will absolutely make those. For Icy Strait Point, we just took the gondola to the top, did a little hike, and came back. I cannot believe that was a $50 all-day pass. There's no round trip pass. Mm, mm, yeah, this frugal mama had a tough time with that, but we did it. At Juneau, we just walked around. We went to the whale statue. It's a 30-minute walk from the port. Holy moly, friends, this is like the most fabulous view I have seen. You can see our cruise ship, you can see all kinds of Alaska scenery. It is absolutely beautiful. And if you don't see totem poles, this is the seaside walk where you see a bunch of totem poles. Even when you're walking throughout the city, you see them, but this is just, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna sit here for a while and enjoy the view. If you can't get to Juneau, here's your view. Highly recommend it. If you're not doing any of the excursions, just take that walk. Ketchikan, Totally a walkable and seeable town. It was rainy on our day, so we didn't do a whole lot. We just went to Creek Street, did a little shopping, got some salmon because that's what you do, right? And came back. Now let's talk about those added hidden costs. There is a added tip of 14.50 per day per person, and that's US dollars. Again, this is also not cheap, and yes, you can change it down or up, but I'm guessing that most people do not adjust it down because it is the suggested amount. So add that into your budget. But if you want to go above and beyond because you thought your servers were fantastic and your housekeeping staff was fantastic, feel free to add more. If you want a money-saving tip, because you know I'm all about those, you can get a Disney gift card from Target with a red card. Save you 5%. That is just red card in general when you buy a gift card. And so Disney gift cards are available at Target, and you can use those for the cruise for everything, really. You can use it for your cruise, you can use it for the tips, you can use it for excursions that you book, you can use it for your special meals or drinks or whatever. Disney gift card. There's also upgraded restaurants, like I said, for Palo, any sort of alcohol, or try any of the boutiques because there is a Bobbity Boo boutique, Bibbity Bobbity boutique, where kids can get their hair done and get all made up like a character of their choice. The spa, nails, doing any sort of experiences and adventures, those are all added costs. So, like any cruise, you could book something off the ship for some of these port adventures, but you just take the risk of something going wrong and being left behind, and the price might actually not be that different. So, that is your own risk. But all of these are added costs on top of what you'd pay for the cruise. So, was it worth it? Yes. Would you agree that this would help you have an unforgettable Disney Alaska cruise? I'd love to hear. And if you found this video helpful or want more or know someone that this might be really helpful for, share it with them. I'd love to hear from you. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the other upcoming videos. Safe travels, friends, and enjoy your cruise. Until next time, happy sailing.